It is now the end of the season, as you can see. I will leave a lot of this up. There's no point in taking it down. Well, yet anyway. Some of it I'll clean up a little bit, but the pollinators do use all the leaves. They overwinter in them. The leaves in the lawn I like to mulch a little bit and then put in the garden beds. I can't do that in the front because we just have too many leaves. It makes such a big blanket that it smothers everything that they cover. So those we do have to clean some up. Temps got into the 20s last night, and now all of my coleus are toast. They're all gone. So I've started to actually sweep some leaves into this butterfly bed here, or into the bird feeder bed. Still got a few plants. And time to take in the decorations. Here's a late blooming flower. This is monkshood. Now keep in mind, monkshood is poisonous, so if you've got kids or animals that dig out in your garden, you wouldn't want to plant this. I don't have either of those, so I like them, so I put them in. I put them in just because I think they're neat. They seem to have survived the frost. The new pollinator bed, pretty much finished for the year. I do see my geranium down there. Oops, right there. I'm gonna overwinter these. I hope I'm not too late with that because it looks pretty nipped. You can see there's actually a flower on it. That didn't survive the cold weather. Still have some salvia. The salvia seems to be doing all right, actually. Look at that. There's still some blooms on it that aren't dead. So again, right now, this ground is a little bare, but I will be putting the leaf mulch in it. And I leave the seed heads on almost everything here. I'm not quite sure about the bone set if I'm going to leave the seed heads on it. I might actually cut them down and put them in a bucket or something in case the birds want to eat them. I'm not sure what kind of seeds they produce. It's actually pretty chilly out right now. I think it's maybe 40. Surprising survivor here. Survived the cold. Look at. It's my twinny snapdragon. I might try to collect some seed from these if I think about it. And look at that. One rosebud. This might actually bloom. We had our last freeze. It's supposed to stay above freezing now, so who knows? Maybe that'll open up. And some of the last leftover phlox blooms. The baptisia over there, I will probably cut that back just because it flops over into my neighbor's property. We used to actually have a fence right behind there, but it blew down in a windstorm a few years ago and we never put it back. Our neighbors are quite nice and they like looking at our garden, so for now, no fence. All of these canes and everything, I'm just going to cut back just a little bit, but leave them exposed Bees and other bugs will make their homes in the hollow stems, so those will stay. There's more of the twinny snapdragon. It's twinny apple blossom, I believe. It's funny because the sweet potato vine didn't make it from last night, but these, they don't even look like they were affected at all. I know snapdragons do like cooler weather or don't mind cooler weather, but it was really cold. This is one of my tall planters full of licorice plant. I had overwintered this. I took some cuttings last year, I think about 4 or 5, and they did really well, and I just kept dividing them and they got huge. I'm not really crazy about them because they overtook everything that's in this planter. There was coleus in here and the geraniums. So I do need to dig the geraniums out. And I will show you what I do with those for the winter. And then also next to that is my spider flower. I'll put a little picture up in the corner so if you remember what it looked like. Now that the foliage has died from the frost, the first hard freeze, I'm going to go ahead and dig these up and store them with my gladiolus bulbs and see if I can't get them to store over the winter as well. That'll be something new for me to try. So I'm just going to reach in here and pull out my geraniums. I hope they're okay. They look a little bit like they might have gotten a little too nipped from the frost, but we'll give it a shot anyway. This is one of the big ones. I'm just going to shake the dirt off the roots. I'll tell you, if you don't have one of these hori knives, you need to get one. These are amazing. There's the second one. That's it for there. So here are the geraniums all ready to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off some of the blooms and some of the stalks and then let them dry up. You don't need these. Cutting off the dead leaves. Bit of a mess here. I'm not sure if these will make it or not because they got a little too much cold, so we'll see. Can't hurt to try. Just getting rid of these dead leaves. You don't need to take all of them off. Just these frost nipped ones, so they'll just rot anyway. Alright, still coming. This one right here is still really good. So this will make it, I would bet. It's another big sprawly one. I probably would next year prune this a little bit better. It was my first time overwintering, so I wasn't totally sure it was going to live, but it did. And this one. I'll just put this in my piston rail. So here these are in the box. These are all ready to go in my basement room area onto a rack, and they're going to dry for a few days because you just do not want to put this into a paper bag because it's wet, and these will rot over the winter if you do that. So I'll post another video when I get ready to put them in the bag just to show you what I do. But these will be ready for next year. These are the spider flower bulbs. These are quite large. Look at the root system on these that happened over the summer. I planted these in the spring in that pot. Has anybody ever done these, overwintered them? I'm not quite sure what to expect. I'm a little worried that the tops may rot, but I'm gonna go ahead and let those dry out as well and store them in a dark place. Try to keep them dry and see what happens.